In a world that never stops moving, where screens flicker with endless notifications and our minds race from one task to the next, finding a moment of true stillness can feel almost impossible. We live in an age defined by speed, information, and distraction, an age that often leaves us feeling overwhelmed, disconnected, and yearning for something more. Yet amidst the chaos, a quiet revolution is taking place. A revolution not marked by noise, but by silence. Not by haste, but by stillness. This is the mindfulness revolution, a gentle but powerful movement that invites us to step away from the constant pull of the future and the past, and to return home to the present moment. Mindfulness is not a fleeting trend or a wellness buzzword. It is a timeless practice rooted in ancient traditions and now illuminated by modern science. Across centuries and cultures, mindfulness has been revered as a path to inner peace, greater wisdom, and a more authentic connection to life itself. Today, it is more relevant than ever. Scientific research has confirmed what sages and philosophers have long known: mindfulness can profoundly transform our lives. Studies reveal that regular mindfulness practice reduces stress, enhances focus, fosters emotional regulation, and cultivates deeper self-awareness. It is a key not only to surviving in the modern world, but to thriving in it. And yet mindfulness is not about escaping reality or numbing ourselves to life's challenges. It is about meeting life fully, exactly as it is, with open eyes and an open heart. It is about finding peace, not in spite of our circumstances, but within them. Over the course of this journey, we will explore the core principles of mindfulness and uncover the simple, powerful ways it can reshape how we live, how we relate to ourselves, and how we find meaning in the everyday moments we so often overlook. The art of mindfulness is not reserved for monks on mountaintops or seekers in distant lands. It is available to each of us right here, right now. All it asks is that we show up with presence, with patience, and with curiosity. So take a deep breath. Let yourself arrive. The journey into the present moment is about to begin. So, what is mindfulness really? At its core, mindfulness is the art of being fully present. It means paying attention to our experiences, thoughts, feelings, sensations, and surroundings, without trying to change them, judge them, or push them away. It is a simple practice, but not always an easy one. Many of us spend our days caught in a tug-of-war between the past and the future. We replay old conversations, regret missed opportunities, or worry endlessly about what might happen next. Rarely do we stop and simply inhabit the life that is unfolding right in front of us. Mindfulness offers us another way. It invites us to observe our internal world, our thoughts, emotions, and sensations, with an attitude of open curiosity rather than harsh judgment. Imagine sitting by the side of a river, watching leaves float by. Each leaf is a thought, a feeling, an urge. You don't chase them, you don't cling to them. You simply notice them drifting past. This is the essence of non-judgmental awareness. We practice noticing without labeling our experiences as good or bad, right or wrong. In doing so, we create a sacred space between stimulus and response, a space where wisdom can arise. But mindfulness is not about achieving a blank mind or reaching some perfect state of serenity. It's about seeing clearly, with compassion, whatever is already present. Thoughts will come, emotions will rise, the mind will wander, again and again. And that's not a failure. That's part of the practice. Mindfulness is not a destination. It's a way of traveling. Every time we notice that our attention has drifted and gently guide it back to the present moment, we strengthen the muscles of awareness, patience, and kindness within ourselves. This is why mindfulness is often called a practice. Like learning to play an instrument or training for a marathon, it takes time, repetition, and care. Some days it will feel effortless, Other days, it might feel almost impossible. But every moment spent practicing is a moment of returning to ourselves, to the truth of now. And in the now, we find life itself, vivid, raw, and full of possibility. Mindfulness may sound like a beautiful idea, but how do we actually bring it into our busy lives? The truth is, mindfulness doesn't require exotic retreats or hours of silent meditation. It can live within the smallest moments of our day. All it asks is that we meet these moments with intention and awareness. One of the most powerful tools we have is something we carry with us everywhere: our breath. The breath is an anchor to the present moment, always moving, always available. When the mind begins to wander or the world feels overwhelming, returning to the simple rhythm of breathing can ground us instantly. Try it now if you like. Feel the cool air entering your nostrils, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. No need to force it, just observe. With each breath, you remind yourself, I am here. Another foundational practice is the body scan meditation. This technique invites you to bring gentle attention to different parts of your body, starting from the top of your head and slowly moving downward. Notice any sensations, warmth, tingling, tightness, without trying to change anything. If you find areas of tension, simply acknowledge them, offering kindness rather than resistance. The body scan is more than relaxation. It's a way of honoring the body's wisdom, tuning into signals we often ignore in the rush of daily life. But mindfulness isn't limited to formal practices. It can weave itself into even the most mundane activities. This is the beauty of mindful movement. When you walk, feel the weight of your body shifting from foot to foot. Notice the texture of the ground beneath you. When you eat, truly taste your food. Savor its flavors, its textures, rather than rushing through a meal while scrolling through your phone. When you wash the dishes, feel the warmth of the water, the smoothness of the plates, the rhythm of your hands moving. These ordinary moments, when approached with mindful awareness, transform into something extraordinary. They become small ceremonies of presence, quiet reminders that life is happening not tomorrow, not yesterday, but right now. Mindfulness is not about escaping your life. It's about entering into it more fully. With each mindful breath, each conscious step, you stitch yourself more deeply into the fabric of your own existence. And over time, this weaving of awareness into everyday life creates a foundation of peace that no storm can easily shake. When we weave mindfulness into the fabric of our lives, we don't just feel better in the moment, we unlock lasting, profound changes. One of the most immediate and celebrated benefits of mindfulness is its power to reduce stress and anxiety. When life's pressures mount, our nervous system often shifts into overdrive, heart racing, muscles tensing, breath shortening. This is the body's ancient fight-or-flight response, useful in moments of real danger, but exhausting when activated. Day after day by emails, deadlines, and worries, mindfulness invites the body and mind into a different mode, the relaxation response. By simply observing our breath, our sensations, and our thoughts without judgment, we tell our nervous system, you are safe. You can soften. With practice, mindfulness builds resilience, allowing us to meet life's inevitable challenges with steadiness, rather than panic. Beyond stress reduction, mindfulness also improves focus and productivity. In a world designed to fragment our attention, mindfulness is a radical act of reclaiming our ability to concentrate. When we train ourselves to return again and again to the present moment, we strengthen our mental muscles, much like lifting weights at the gym. Research shows that mindfulness practitioners are better able to sustain attention, avoid distractions, and engage deeply with the task at hand. Rather than feeling pulled in 100 directions, mindfulness helps us gather our energy and pour it fully into what matters most. But perhaps one of the most transformative gifts of mindfulness is the cultivation of emotional intelligence. When we practice observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment, we become more attuned to the subtle shifts within us. We notice anger rising before it erupts. We recognize sadness before it deepens into despair. Rather than being swept away by strong emotions, mindfulness allows us to respond with awareness and choice. This emotional insight leads to better relationships with others and with ourselves. It fosters empathy, patience, and authentic connection. It teaches us that while we cannot always control what happens around us, we can choose how we meet it within. In the end, mindfulness doesn't promise a life free from difficulty. What it offers is something even more valuable: the inner tools to meet life with clarity, compassion, and courage. Mindfulness doesn't just help us find peace, it opens the door to something deeper, a sense of purpose rooted in presence and authenticity. In the stillness of mindfulness, we are invited to connect with our core values, the principles that give our lives meaning. When we slow down and truly listen, we begin to hear the quiet truths within us. What do I truly care about? What kind of life do I want to live? Rather than chasing fleeting goals or external approval, mindfulness helps us align our actions with what matters most to our hearts. This alignment is the essence of living with purpose. Mindfulness also helps us discover our passions. When we are fully present, even small experiences can reveal hidden sparks of interest and joy. A moment of awe at a sunset, a conversation that lights us up inside, an activity that makes time disappear. Mindfulness sharpens our sensitivity to these signals, the whispers of our deeper desires. By following them with curiosity, we unlock potential we may never have realized we possessed. But purpose is not a destination we reach and check off a list. It is a journey of self-discovery, one that unfolds moment by moment, day by day. Mindfulness teaches us to embrace the journey rather than obsess over the outcome. It reminds us that every step, even the missteps, are part of a larger unfolding. Through mindfulness, we learn to live in harmony with ourselves. We recognize that fulfillment is not something we find out there after achieving some perfect plan. It is something we cultivate right here, right now, by living with awareness, honesty, and love. And perhaps the greatest gift mindfulness offers is this: it reminds us that we are enough, not because of what we achieve or prove or perfect, but simply because we are. As we practice mindfulness, we return to this truth again and again. We remember that our deepest purpose is not in doing more, but in being fully alive, fully present, fully ourselves. Music gently builds to a hopeful crescendo, narrator, softer, closing voice. The art of mindfulness is the art of living. Not someday, not when life is easier or quieter, but now, in this breath, in this step, in this precious fleeting moment. And so, wherever you are on your journey, may you move forward with open eyes, open heart, and an unwavering trust in the beauty of now.